Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's well today. Apologies for that little bit at the beginning there, my finger slipped. Right to welcome new viewers, hopefully, on YouTube today, because we are streaming to both Facebook and YouTube. This is just a little test for a few weeks, see how we get on with it. Usually we haven't been able to stream to YouTube as well as Facebook, but we're trying this out, see how we get on. Anyway, we have a couple of people on this morning that have said good morning, which is Sue Chadwick and Shaz Mail, Mandy Atterbury and Stace, Rebecca Clues, and our guest today, Peter Goddard, who I've just been having a chat to, and his team have been telling me off. And we've been having a bit of a laugh. Welcome, Peter.
Welcome. Good morning, everybody.
Thank you for coming on today.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure.
You apparently are going to giving us a discussion about spiritual motivation.
Yep, and mediumship to the masses. So discussion means everybody has to join in. So any questions are welcome. And if there's anything anybody would like to ask about mediumship or motivation, please feel free, and we'll do our best to answer the questions.
Definitely. So any questions, just pop them in the comments and I will put them on the screen and probably also read them out so Peter can see them a little bit better. We've also got Carrie Ann Marshall from Ontario in Canada. Eva, apologies, Eva, and to anybody else who would normally be on Zoom. We are just trying this out at the moment. We're not doing Zoom for a little while. We're seeing how this goes because it's easier. I can put the comments on the screen for the guests to see, but we will still be having our Zoom chats and the VIP things on Zoom. So anybody have any questions, just pop them in and we'll see if Peter can answer them for you. Anyway, Peter, how would you like to start?
Oh, great. Well, let's just start about mediumship to the masses. That's probably my real passion. It's about, getting out there to the people that don't really believe in what we do. It's all a bit higgledy-piggledy, and we're great at guessing, or we check people's Facebooks, or we're Googling them, or we're the stuff I've heard you wouldn't credit. There's only one flaw to all of that, especially where I'm concerned, is I'm completely dyslexic. So I wouldn't be able to do it, with the best respect, even if I was of a mind to do it. And the evidence that we get, we say stuff and it may freak people out. And that's not our goal. We're not about trying to freak people out. We're about trying to make people understand that just because Great Aunt Mary or dad or mum or the cat and I have had animals, I do the Dr. Dolittle bit. I do speak to animals from time to time and they speak to me. It's quite amusing. But when it happens, it's good fun. And the other thing that I also say to people with mediumship is, listen, your dad or your mum or whoever had a great sense of humour. And that doesn't die. That goes with them. So, where we can or where I can, I try to use a lot of humour. I like to make people laugh. I want to bring, that little bit of upliftment to them and everybody around them. Because if I do demonstrations in churches, and I've done demonstrations for yourselves, as you know, that go out to a lot of people. And what I'm trying to do is uplift people. And if you give somebody that little bit of a laugh and a little bit of fun, all of a sudden the day's a little bit easier. You forget your troubles, you forget, the bad things that are happening. Not everything, but some of it. A mediumship to the masses isn't about going into all the lovely spiritual churches, which I love to do, and on the lovely Zooms, which I also love to do. It's about going out to bigger venues. It's about getting more people to enjoy and understand mediumship, and understand that basically there's lots of help for them, just because your friends or whoever have passed the spirit, they don't stop helping you. It's not like they go away. It's not like they're gone forever. And I want to prove to people that there is life after this very short, and it is a very short existence. You know, when we come back, or when we go back to spirit, it will be the blink of an eye. You'll think you missed that loved one for such a long time, and then all of a sudden time has no real relevance to spirit. The number of times I've been asked, you know, questions about time, and spirit always answer the question the same way. They always say time really for us isn't a concept, because when you're in love, and I don't mean in love as in when you love somebody, because they always love everybody, but when you're living in nothing but love, there is no, you don't need to go and eat dinner because there's no need. Your nourishment is education and betterment of your soul, and that's what we're here for, betterment of our soul. And I want to prove to you that when you leave this mortal coil, this realm, this sphere, whatever you want to call it, you don't die. You know, and the big thing for a lot of people, and a lot of people don't realize this, is with a lot of people, there's something called past life regression. And that's where we go back in time, you know, where, and it's happened, you know, I've had a couple of things said to me, and, you know, it's funny how you meet the same people over and over again. So, you know, if you ever walked into a room and just, you're drawn to one person and it's like, you know them, and, or you meet somebody and you immediately click with them. It's like there's a connection, but you can't work out what the connection is. You ever been in a situation where you know something's going to go wrong and your gut is telling you, stop, don't do it, and you stop, and all of a sudden you're all right? It doesn't happen. And that's all comes from the other side. That all comes from you, but it also comes from spirit trying to help you to be, well, you've got to live this life. They want you to move forward. Also, you'll find that, you know, with mediumship to the masses, as far as I'm concerned, our energies introduce us. I can't read that. Sorry, if you could just read that.
Yeah, Desiree Carmi, sorry. Our energies introduce us before we do.
Yes. I've often had people say about me, when you walk into a room, there's like a massive energy. It's like people know you and they recognize you. And I've done this a fair bit now, and I expect, well, I don't expect, it's not unusual for people to go, oh, you're that chap. Or you're him. That's the great one. You're him. And I go, yeah, I'm definitely him. 100% I'm him. And I definitely was the last time I looked. I'm definitely a him. And that, you know, it just lightens it a little bit for everybody.
Yeah. We were talking about sense of humour and all that earlier. Another one, a regular of ours, is Kim Day. And he's just said, the only thing I'm worried about when I passed is no roast dinners or kebabs. Well,
unfortunately, Kim, you won't need them, mate. And the good thing is, you know, I always laugh and joke. When I came into this, I've got a great joke. When I came into this, I came into it very late. Tell you a very quick story. And I met a young lady who I was doing some work, and I had her with me, and she said to me, I'm going to freak you out. And I thought, oh no, nutcase alert, here we go. I said, okay, so what is it you're going to do that's going to freak me out? She went, I'm going to tell you something. And then she started giving me a reading, because she was a medium, and she gave me a reading about an aunt of mine who'd, well, not an aunt, but you know the way when you were younger, mum had friends, she came up. So anyway, we were chitty chatting, and she said stuff to me, and everything she said about this aunt was absolutely correct. And she went, so I bet you're a bit freaked out. I said, well, no, not really. I said, because I kind of believed in it. I'd never really been into it. She said, well, that's not the freaky bit. She said, the freaky bit is you've got blue hands. And I said, well, no, definitely. They're pink. Look, you can see they're pink. And she went, no, you're a healer. And I went, okay, yeah, great. And she said, well, that's not the freaky bit. And I said, what do you mean that's not the freaky bit? She said, well, actually, you're a medium. And I said, listen, darling, you need to go to Specsavers, because at best, I'm an extra large. Definitely not a medium. So, and that is a joke that I've used. Every time you say it, everybody does exactly what you just did. They just laugh, because it is true, you know. And it was a shock for me. It was a big shock. And then, you know, I progressed and I learned and I trusted and I did what I needed to do to get myself forward. And now all I want to do is convince the people that are, for want of a better word, skeptics, you know, don't believe in all of this. I'm no religious nut. Never have been, never will be. Do I believe in God? Yes, I've always believed in God. Do I believe in life after death? Yes, I've always believed in life after death. But not to the point where I go to church every Sunday. That's not me. I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy that goes to church every week. I go to spiritualist church, but that's because I enjoy watching people work. But
Yeah.
I'm not a Bible basher. And I would never force my religions or my beliefs on anybody.
Well, this is what spiritualism is, isn't it? You don't force it on other people.
No.
Hopefully not, anyway. Mainly because most people don't believe it anyway, and they think you're a nutcase.
Well, they do until you start saying stuff.
Yeah.
Because the number of times I've been in a room and people go, "Ah, it's rubbish. That's total rubbish." And I go, "Really? You sure?"
Mm-hmm.
And then you say something and they'll go, "Well, that's right. Well, how can I know that?" "Oh, you guessed."
Yeah. Stace has asked, do you think people believe in life after death because we have become too focused on having hard evidence to enable us, or is it because they fear what they don't understand?
Very good question. Do I think people don't believe in life after death? I think people want to believe in something because people don't want to believe that this is all we get. And it isn't. It truly isn't. You should trust yourself in all of this. In other words, we ask ourselves questions all the time, and we are our own biggest critics. If you don't realize that, we are literally our own biggest critics, but we do fear it because most of us, if you ask most people, they'll say to you about death, and they'll go, "Oh, well, it might be painful, or it might be this, or it might be that, or if there is a God, why did this happen, or why did that happen?" Because what they don't realize is everything that happens, and this is the hardest thing to say to people, and trust me, now I know it, I would have definitely chosen things a little bit differently. I'd have had a nice big house somewhere, a Ferrari and a yacht and an aeroplane. Not the life I've had. Trust me, I would not have picked the life I had. But we choose what we want in this life from the last life. And they're lessons that we need to learn. And some of them are very difficult lessons. But
Yeah,
if you take something from every lesson that you're given, you progress. People say to me, "Oh, I don't know how to move forward. I can't go another day." And you say, "I'm not capable," but you are. Everybody's capable. You got to here, you got to today. So you must be strong. Even we are led, we are conditioned, and this is like preconditioning. It happens from the day you're born. We're preconditioned to believe in a certain way. We're preconditioned to believe in certain things. And I think the best, they're exactly right, Kim, exactly right. The absolute truth is, we've all heard of this wonderful place called heaven, but we're terrified of this other place called hell.
Yes.
We're all terrified of it.
Which is a man-made thing,
It's
isn't
religious
it?
prison.
Yeah.
It's religious prison. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. It's a way of controlling you. It's a way of making you compliant. If you look at every religion, 80% of every religion is exactly the same. It's only 20% that's wrong. That's different. Wrong's the wrong word, but it's different. Yeah. They have different beliefs, different this, different that. And if you take culture in, it probably even drops even to less than 20%. Because obviously different cultures do different things in different ways. That's up to them. But actually, the core of most religions is be nice to one another, love one another, and be good. Now, if we could live like that, our lives become better. So if you think about how life is, if you think about what life is, and this terrible place called hell that we're all going to go to if we do the wrong things, yet our gods, all of our gods, whoever you choose to call God, is a forgiving God. So if you truly regret what you did, whatever that may be, he's going to forgive you. So why do we need religious prison? We just need to understand what we did was wrong. Go, actually, that was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. And you're going to be forgiven. So why do we need a hell? We don't. It's society's way and religion's way of keeping us all in check.
Yeah. Keith Bernard Abbott has said religion was written by the elite for minions to control them.
100%. 100%. I'm going to break down every religious war in 3 minutes. Would you like it? Every religious war there's ever been. You ready for this? Tommy and Johnny are in the playground. It's lunchtime. They're the best of mates. They normally play football, go swimming together around each other's house. They're really good friends, yeah? This particular lunchtime, they're in the playground. They start playing football, and then all of a sudden there's this massive ruckus. Massive. Johnny's got a black eye. Jimmy's got a busted lip. It's all gone wrong. So Jimmy goes home with a letter from the teachers, gives it to his dad. He said, Dad, listen, mate, I'm in a bit of trouble here. He gives the letter to his dad. His dad reads the letter. He says, okay. He says, what's gone on between you two? He said, Dad, it's really simple. He said, I was in the playground today, and he told me that his imaginary friend was better than my imaginary friend, and he had more powers than mine had. And I said, no. And that's every single religious war.
Yes.
Every single religious war. And it boils down to convince the little man what he's doing is right, and he will do anything for you. So they've used years and years and years of control, and they control us in many different ways to make us do what we think. They think we think is right. Yeah. Does that make sense?
It does. And producer Richard, one of his favourite things when people say about religion and wars is that spiritualism is the only religion that doesn't cause any wars.
Because all we want to do, if you look at anybody that's spiritualist, what do they want to do? They want to prove to you that this isn't all that you get, that life actually does get better. You just need to have faith in yourself. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the motivational stuff, or what I call the spiritual motivational stuff. How many of us get up every day and think we're not worthy? Think that actually today we're going to get it all wrong? Yeah. You get out of bed and you think, oh, yesterday was terrible. Today's going to be the same. That's called negative attitude. And the one thing about a negative attitude is if you set out with a negative attitude, 100% you'll achieve it. It's so simple to achieve. But if you set out with a positive attitude, actually, that's what you'll get, because a positive attitude creates a positive outcome. Yes. If you start seeing things, I can't read that story.
That is one of our other regulars, Joanne Lewis. She's a very, very positive person, and she loves her positivity. She said people just live a life of hell, a hellish life, but there's no hell. People put themselves through a mental hell.
But exactly right. It doesn't exist. You can't go to somewhere that doesn't exist. Listen, do I believe in a higher being? 100%. But on the other hand, I've never met anybody ever who's met their God, or whoever they choose to call God. Yeah. So we're all doing the same thing. We're all going through life with a belief. So getting back to positivity, if you start positively, you will become positive. And it doesn't have to be the big things. It can be, I got my toast right this morning. I got my coffee right this morning. I made the bed just so. Start small, because if you start small, actually, the bigger things will happen. It's a bit like the mindset changes. And what we have to do is change the mindset up here. In life, unfortunately, there are sheep and there are shepherds. Okay. And then there's the wolf. And everybody's frightened of the wolf. Okay. To some extent, we need the wolf, but we need the shepherds as well. And then we do need sheep, unfortunately. But you can be an intelligent sheep. But aim to be the shepherd, because he's the kind of guy in the middle. He's gonna have the best of all worlds, because he wants to keep the flock safe and he wants to keep the wolf away. And that's where you want to be. Don't be a sheep, be a shepherd. Don't be a leader. And it's only lead yourself, be a leader. You don't have to follow the bunch. You don't have to conform. Nobody has to conform. There are no two people who are the same.
Exactly. And that is the problem. Different. Yeah, that's the problem these days, is you've got the sheep following someone they think is right.
Yeah.
And they have no idea what's actually been going on
No.
because they think that person is right. They
It's
think
called
that person knows more, and they're just little sheep following someone.
It's called unconditional following.
Yes,
He's
yes.
more intelligent than me, so he has to be right. No, he doesn't.
No.
Question it. If you're not sure, questioning it. And if they're uncomfortable answering the question, why are they uncomfortable?
Yeah.
If someone tries to shut you up when you ask a question that you think is valid, why are they trying to do that? There's a great saying in life: people fear what they can't control. People fear what they can't control. Don't be controlled. We spend our life being controlled. You think, you know, I go back to my school days, and unfortunately, I'm a little bit older than probably some of the people on here, and we had very sexist schools. So girls went off and did this, and boys went off and did that, and that's controlling. Because of course, back then they're called PAs now, but back then they were called secretaries, and we need secretaries and we need mechanics. So if you're not going to be a scholar, there's a spanner.
Yes.
Well, there's a bricklaying trade. Now, there's nothing wrong with any of those trades, and we need them. 100% we need them. But do it because you want to do it. Not because that's what you're being told that that's the only thing that you can do. Because everybody has a skill. You just haven't learned it yet, or you haven't found it yet.
Exactly.
Don't
That's
ever
exactly
think
right.
you can't learn something new. Because every day, even for me, is a school day.
Yeah, because you're always learning all throughout your life.
It's only a fool that believes he knows everything. Remember that.
Yeah.
It's only a fool that believes he knows everything.
Yeah.
And there's that great saying in life, isn't there? Best keep your mouth shut and let people think you're a fool than open it and remove all doubt.
That's a good one. I'm going to remember that.
Because
I was just going to say, going back to the positivity, Lauren has said, I agree, start your day on a positive. Your day will then be filled with positivity.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And don't be put down. You're going to get things wrong. It's called the human condition. It happens to all of us. Nobody always gets it right. It goes back to different things in life. So if you're a footballer, footballers will talk about that one goal that they scored that was excellent. And tennis players will talk about that one shot that they took, which was excellent. They won't tell you about the 54,000 that they didn't score on the 54,000 that it's the one.
Yes, definitely.
Understand, we're all going to get it wrong because we're human. And here's another thing. Nobody gets out alive.
Yeah, we're all going to the same place. Yeah.
And I've got another question to ask all of these people that are fighting to get the big house or the nice car or the big bank account or the diamond ring or the Rolex watch or the fancy suit or the fancy shoes. That great big house that you have, when you die or when you pass, because nobody truly dies, when you pass, what happens to that house? It goes to somebody else.
Yeah.
So do you own it or are you borrowing it?
Yes.
We never truly own anything. It's just borrowed. So does it matter? No. Fun and laughter are something nobody can ever take away from you. Your dignity is something that nobody can take away from you because you will always have it, even if you feel in some cases you've had but you haven't. We are all born exactly the same. Okay? We're all born naked. Every single one of us with nothing. And when you die, guess what? Same thing happens. So from start to finish, what's more important? Building a big number in your bank account and having all the lovely things that you want, or having fun, making memories, living your life, gaining experiences, gaining knowledge, and helping others.
Yeah. Desiree has said again, I have mixed feelings about this as many commit suicide. My own sister has been extremely suicidal for many years.
If she could just elaborate on that. I don't understand what she's saying when she says that. Because suicide is a terrible thing and it's a dark, dark place. And I have to say this because obviously being a medium, I've spoken to many from the other side, people that have taken their own lives in many different ways. And they all say one thing. Well, that was a mistake. Because it doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't solve the problem. But no, it's nobody's failing. You can't choose what somebody's going to do when they're not with you. That's completely out of your control. You can do your best to help them, and you can do your best to support them. But that's all you can do. You should never take any guilt for something. If somebody's done that, it was their choice. It was their path.
We have Christine Davis has said, people can say or do things that can stop you being positive.
No, they can't. They actually can't. Because positivity starts within you. It starts up here. And as long as you keep mentally strong, which isn't always easy, I'll grant you that. And especially when you're being put down and ridiculed and being made to feel small, been there, seen it, done it, got the t-shirt. Okay. But if you rise above it, which everybody is capable of doing, yes, it's hard. No, I didn't say it was going to be easy. I've not once said, and by the way, all this is easy. No, it's hard work and it takes effort.
Life isn't easy, is it? No, life isn't easy. Some people it is, others do struggle.
No, it's not easy for anybody. It's an illusion that people give you that it's easy. I have met people who have hundreds of millions of pounds. Hundreds, not millions, hundreds of millions. And they're not happy. They're not happy. They don't have this life, and they can get on a private jet and go to wherever it is they want to go. They've got the free houses and the boats and the aeroplane. They're not happy. They have the same troubles as we have. Their children don't do as they're told. Children, everybody's children do things that they're not supposed to do. Because guess what? That's what children do. That's what I did. It's what you did. It's what we all do. It's called growing up and learning.
Yeah, and as we said before, you learn every day, don't you? You learn something new.
Every single day of your life, you're picking something up.
Yeah.
And just try and pick one thing up every day. Just literally one thing every day, and it's not difficult. And you, as you just said earlier about the thing that you said, oh, I'm going to keep that. But actually, that's real.
Yeah.
Surely we must all know that eventually one day we're going to pass. So let's live our life till then. Let's not live an existence. Let's live life. And you don't have to have everything to live life.
No. Joanne Lewis, when loving yourself, you don't rely on what others think of you. As long as you have a good heart, you may have been the one to teach them a lesson.
That's so accurate. Joanne is so spot on there. The first person in the world, we fight ourselves every day. Every single day. We are contradicting ourselves. We are saying we got it wrong. We're the ones that made the mistake. It's our fault. No, sometimes it's circumstance. Sometimes it wasn't meant to be. Sometimes it's just the way the world ended up. But if you get up in the morning and start loving you, you make you easier for other people to love. If you go out with us, right, it's really simple. I do lots of stuff in churches, as I've already said. But the number of times I've walked into a church and said, walk down the street. I'm going to tell you another little story in a minute. Walk down the street. When you walk down the street, if you see somebody walking towards you who's doing that, you're like, everybody's like that. Oh no, I hope you don't speak to me. All you need to do is smile. And I guarantee 90% of the time they'll smile back. And if they don't smile back, there's a problem. All you need to say is hello.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? Because what you don't know in all of this is you might be the only person they see. It may be today, it may be this week. Imagine you're them. Imagine you're that person. Imagine you're walking down the road and you haven't had a great day, but somebody acknowledged you. All of a sudden, you feel valuable.
Yeah. All it takes sometimes is a smile, doesn't it?
A smile. Walk down the street and smile. Because guess what? You just might pick somebody up. You just might change somebody's day. Now I'm going to tell you a story that was told to me. There's a medium. I can't remember the guy's name. He was sitting having a chat. And he said to me, guess what? He said, you're not going to believe this. He said, I was walking down the street the other day and I saw this guy on a bench and he just looked in a bad place. And I sat down next to him and we started having a chat, and we was talking about this and we was talking about that. And in the end, he had a little bit of a chuckle and he wandered off, and he said, you know, it was kind of brightened his day up. He said, I just kind of brightened his day up. And we weren't really talking about anything in particular. We were just talking about, you know, the park, the kids running around, life in general. He said, it wasn't like, you know, he told me his troubles. And he said, you know, that it was really good for that guy. He said, I said, oh, that's really good. He said, well, that's not really the end of the story. He said, I bumped into the guy a little while later, and the guy walked up to me and he said, you saved my life. And the medium went, sorry? He went, you saved my life. I said, what do you mean I saved your life? We just had a chat. He said, yeah, but what you didn't know was I'd actually decided that day I was going to end it all. I was actually going to chuck it all in. I was done. I didn't see any point in carrying on. It seemed to be really bad. And I just didn't want to do it anymore. He said, and I sat down with you and we had that chat. And actually I realised that, yeah, okay, yeah, life ain't great. And I ain't in a great place. And things aren't where I really want them to be. But tomorrow's another day. I can change it. In fact, I can change it right now. I can start right now to change it. And he said, and I did. He said, now, and I'm still here. He said, and that's down to you. And that shows you how simple it is. Because we all, every day, there will be people that go, I can't do it anymore. I'm done.
Yeah.
And it's not that they want to go and end their lives. It's just, you know, I can't do it anymore. And you know, it's just such a bad day. And the truth of the matter is, if you go out and look for something that just gives you a bit of a cheer up and a bit of a perk up, it will. It really, really will. And we've all been, I know I've been there, and I'm big enough to admit it. I've been in that place where I actually thought about not continuing. And again, it's one of those funny stories, and it's my guides that, and I was walking from my living room to my kitchen, and obviously I had a shoulder rebuilt, so I had lots and lots of painkillers. This was before I had it done, and a nice bottle of Jack Daniels. There are other versions of that available, and I'd had a really, when I say bad, it was bad. All sorts of, so all of you out there that think we get it easy, trust me, we don't. We get it harder and worse than most because we feel it. I walk into a room and I can feel people's energy. And you know what? All I want to do sometimes is hug people because I know that's actually what you need. And I'm actually known as the person that hugs people. If you're around me, everyone goes, oh, it's Peter. He gives really big hugs and really good hugs. I remember walking from my from my front room, and particularly bad day, and I thought, you know, this would be so easy. I've got enough tablets in there. I've got a bottle of Jack Daniels. I could take those, go up to bed, go to sleep, and that's it. And my spirit guides went, crack on, then off you go. But understand this, we're going to turn you straight round and bring you straight back. So you've just wasted 56 years. You're going to have to do all of that again. And that's why I didn't do it, because I realised I was here for a bigger purpose.
Yes. Yeah.
And something that a few people know about me, but I'm going to enlighten a few more. No question about it. Absolutely 100%. I should be dead. I should 100% be dead. I took an overdose at 4.
Oh, wow.
I've been run over. I've had 3 really bad car accidents. I was in a car that a tree fell on. I've been shot at. I've been stabbed twice. I've been run over. The IRA had 3 goes at me, and I've never been in the army, by the way. And those are just ones that I can remember off the top of my head.
Wow. I would just say, don't go anywhere near Peter.
Well, apparently I'm quite a safe place to be, because if you're right next to me, obviously they don't want me dead. So that's pretty good. Well, stay near me, just don't go too far away. I was obviously here for a bigger reason. I'm here to do, you know, they've kept me here to do a lot of work.
You've got a job to do. Yeah. Christine Davis said, it's so easy to say all this, but if you're a person that's been bullied, ridiculed in life, it makes you defensive and not positive at all times.
That's true. That's 100% true. But to some extent, I think all of us have been bullied, me included.
Yes, I can say that. Bullied. Yes, it's like cyberbullying, isn't it?
It is difficult to be positive all the time, but you have to try. You have to start. You have to go, do you know what? Absolute fact. 100%. You can't change 2 minutes ago. Pardon me.
Yes.
You can't change 10 minutes
Yeah.
ago. You can't change last week, last month, last year. It's done. It's been done. But you can have an influence over what's going to happen in front of you. And sometimes to do that, we have to make decisions which we're not comfortable with. And those are life-changing decisions.
Yes.
And I know, because I've done it.
Yeah. And it's
I've
what other
done it.
people say to you can be life-changing too.
Oh, listen. And the other thing I would always say to people is, a lot of people do this thing called deflection. You're a bad person. You're no good. You're horrible. You're ugly. You're not worthy. You're lucky to have me. I bet you everybody that's listened to these has heard at least one of those lines at least once.
Yes.
At least once. What they're trying to tell you is, I'm not worthy. I'm an ugly person. I don't mean physically, I mean generally. I'm an ugly person. And that's not me. This is the person telling you that. They're reflecting on you the way they feel about them. So let them do that. Let it go, because it's not about you. It's about them at this point. They know that they're in danger of losing something. So they're going to do everything they can to make you think that you're lucky.
Yes. Yes, definitely. I've come across someone like that. Yeah.
Time again. Don't let them do it. There's no need to let them do it. Sometimes we have to make really difficult decisions in life. Sometimes we have to jump. Now, we've all been swimming, or most of us have been swimming. Now, it's all well and good walking up to the pool and dipping your toe in.
Yes.
But if you're going to go swimming, you're going to get wet. So you might as well just jump in. You've already made the decision to go swimming, so do it. You're going to get wet, so get wet. It's mindset.
Yes. Kaylee Daggett said a smile doesn't cost a thing, and that is very, very true. And it can change, like you said, it can change someone's day.
But here's the thing, it changes your day as well. It doesn't just change their day, it changes your day.
Yeah.
And you know, we use more muscles for a smile than we do for a frown. So it's actually a good face workout.
Yeah.
So there's an upside to it. Exercise. See, when somebody says, did you exercise today? Yep, smiled at 724 people. Well, that counts. Beats getting on the old treadmill, let me tell you.
Yeah, definitely.
Beats getting on a treadmill. Is there any more questions? Because I'd love to answer questions.
Keith Bernard Abbott, blanket fear is what is happening at the minute, and being the rainbow for all the people you cross helps with their pathway of light.
100%, 100%. It's, you know, the situation that's going on right now. Now, we've all heard the statistics about COVID, haven't we? And we're all really terrified about it. And I'm not saying we shouldn't take precautions, because yes, we should take precautions 100%. But I want to ask everybody something. So I'm going to ask you this, and I want you to answer this, because you're the only one that's on there. So I'll apologise for putting you in the firing line here. Have you heard the statistic which quite clearly states from the government that 1 in 3 people carry this virus without knowing they've got it and are able to transmit it? Have you heard that?
I think I have, yes.
Yes. What does that tell you?
I think they're lying.
No. What it tells you is 1 in 3 people is immune, because if you carry it and it doesn't affect you,
that's very true.
You must be immune.
Yes, definitely.
Has anybody pointed that out to anybody? No.
That is really true. Yeah.
Thought about it, did they? Nobody thought, hang on a second.
Oh, you've frozen. You've touched something.
Oh, please come back. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Right, here's another thing. And I am not diminishing it, because people have lost people over this, and that's tragic. And that is really tragic. But if it walks like a duck, swims like a duck, and quacks.
You've gone again. Peter's having some trouble. He's a bit electric at the moment. Everything he touches electrically, he breaks. So hopefully he will come back. He hasn't at the moment. We had this problem a little bit earlier where he's had to restart something or other, and he's really broken it this time. I'm going to go through some questions. Kim has said, this guy would be great in a teaching circle, leads people to understand life after encouragement. That's really true. That is really true. Let's have a look. Oh, unfortunately, Peter's gone for the moment. He'll be back in, I think, hopefully. Otherwise, it's just going to be me. This is all going very quickly now. Carrie Ann Marshall Kearns, I get a sensitive feeling on the back of my arm when I am carrying something. Kim has said, Alison, start the singing. No, because we want to get a few more viewers. We don't want to scare anybody away. Hello to Sue Lawrence. Before we go on, and before hopefully Peter will be back, tonight, as it's a Monday, we've got Matt and Kirsty on from 8 p.m. with their answering your spiritual questions. And they must be spiritual. If you ask for a reading, you won't get one. Richard James. Hello, boss. What else was I going to say? Oh, the 22nd of December, which is next week. I think it's a Thursday. We've got a Zoom competition. After the main show, about 9:30, we have a unicorn purse, if I remember correctly. That is on the fan page if anybody wants to go and have a look. But to win it, you've got to be on Zoom for about an hour, 45 minutes or so to be able to win it. So you can't just pop on and hope to win, because it won't happen. And what else have we got? I have no idea what's on tomorrow night. I can give you that in a second. Tomorrow, oh, Deb Clark is back. That's good. And Christmas Day, if anybody's lonely or you feel you need, here comes Peter. There will be an all-day SPtv thing. Hello, you're back.
I love technology. There is actually a person on there who will be laughing, because every time I go near something, I know it's my energy. Every time I go near something that is electrical, it goes wrong. I've been on Zooms where I've been through 3 laptops and ended up using my phone. I have no idea why it happens. It drives me insane. So sorry, I forgot where we got to, but I hope that have we had any more questions since I've been away?
We've got Sue Lawrence has just popped up. How long after a person has passed will they be able to come through?
Again, that's a really good question. Thank you for that, Sue. I've had people come through on the same day, but it can take some time. And it's when they're ready to do it is the honest answer to that. And when you're ready for it, because sometimes, you're not ready for it because it's so raw. But understand, if somebody has an illness, they will typically go to what people believe is the healing rooms, and they may have some lessons to learn when they go there. If someone's has not really learned all of their lessons while they were here, they'll have some lessons to learn when they get to the other side. So it can be almost immediately, or it can take some time. And there's no rule. There's no hard and fast rule. A bit like. And a lot of you, if anyone ever seen me working on the platform, if you go to a medium, a lot of mediums will say to you, "Oh, I can't get who you want. I'm just going to have to get who comes through." Have you heard that?
Yeah.
And the truth of that is, please forgive me for saying this, they don't, to some extent, they question their own talent. Because I've started to do something, and I trust spirit 100%. I trust spirit. So whatever they ask me to do, I will do. And I've been doing some really strange and great stuff. So what I will do is I will go typically into a church, and I'll say to the person who's chairing, I want you to pick somebody on one side of the church, and I want them to pick somebody else on the other side of the church. And I want that person, whoever it may be, to pick somebody from spirit. And touch wood, up to now, I've had the person they've wanted every single time. Now, it's not me. I am not that clever. I wish I was, it's spirit. And if it's pointing, if it's important that you need to speak to that person, they'll come through. And sometimes you'll go and you'll see a medium and you'll get somebody that comes through that will give you a message. And the reason they're giving you the message is because it's their style. That's the person in life would have given you that message. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes,
and that's what people forget. So we'll often get the people coming through to us who can influence us in the way that they need to influence us. So I hope that helps whoever that was. But yeah, there's no hard and fast rules on that. It just happens when it happens.
Lovely. Desiree has asked a question. Okay, when a person is extremely mean and cruel and abusive to their loved ones, has a demon possessed them?
No. They're just bad character traits. You know, that's lessons that they need to learn, and lessons that, unfortunately, and this is going to sound really weird, that you've chosen to learn. You know, there are cruel people in the world. There are, you know, how look at the horrible story of the young boy who was tragically murdered by his parents, his father and his girlfriend. His girlfriend, should I say? Her girlfriend. That's terrible. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I made a mistake there. And you ask, how can that be possible? And often I hear people say, well, how can there be a God? And how can there be a higher spirit? I say higher spirit, God, whatever you want to call them, who lets these things happen. And it isn't God who's letting these things happen. It's man. Man is doing these things. God isn't doing them. It's the human form. And all human form has frailty and fallibility. And for those that, you know, I always use these big words. I wish I was this intelligent. Fallibility is we can get it wrong. So therefore we will get it wrong. And we need to learn from our mistakes. So someone who's cruel and nasty and unkind at times won't be cruel and nasty and unkind. They'll actually be a nice person, because I always say this to people when relationships break up, and even when my own broke up. I love my ex-wife. I just don't love her in the way I needed to. And that was neither fair on her nor me. And we were at each other, and that's not fair on her, and it's not fair on me. And was I to blame? Probably was. Was she to blame? She probably was. Don't beat yourself up. Stop beating yourself up. Till death us do part. Stop beating yourself up. You know what when people go about that till death us do part thing, what they don't realize is the Bible's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. And when that was written, till death us do part probably meant for about the next 20 years maximum, because people didn't live that long.
That's very true. Yeah.
And it was man's interpretation on it, not God's, which is why I struggle.
Stace says, but are they born that way, or is it how they turned over time? Nature versus nurture? Both.
You know, it's a lot of things are learned behavior, and our traits are to stop that behavior moving forward. We should all be doing it. We should all be going, do you know what? It wasn't wrong when it wasn't right when it happened to me. So why is it right if I pass it forward?
That's very true. Yeah.
It's not right when it was just as wrong when you did to whatever person you did as to when it was done to you. It's no less wrong. And as my mum, you always say this, my mum gets wiser as I get older. Two wrongs don't make a right. Two wrongs make two wrongs.
That's exactly what my mum used to say.
Two wrongs don't make a right. And another thing, if you can't say something nice, don't say something good. Don't say anything at all.
You sure your mum wasn't my mum?
Oh, listen, we're all related somewhere. We're all related somewhere.
True. Yeah,
I
unfortunately.
That book that all you ladies have been given. There's that book, you know, that us men aren't supposed to know about. I worked it out a long time ago.
Oh, Men Are From Mars and Women Are From
Venus. No, it's not that book. It's, you know, when you're about 14, you get the rule book. There's a
Oh,
rule
yes.
book, isn't there? That rule
Yes,
book.
yeah.
I've seen the rule book. I know the
Oh, yeah.
rules. I know
Yeah.
the rules. If you're making dinner, you have to do the washing up. See, key rule.
That's it.
Key
Yeah.
rule. It's no good just making the dinner.
Joanne Lewis, our positive person.
Yeah.
Once you let go the victim mentality, which I've also had to let go of, you are then free to appreciate yourself for who you truly are, a kind, loving soul. Then love yourself for all the good you do.
Yeah, 100%. She should be doing this.
Do you know, we laugh. Joanne's one of our VIPs, one of our angel members, so comes on to the VIP nights.
I'd love to do a VIP night for you guys.
We'll sort that out. Richard's on, so we will see what we can do. But
I
Joanne,
said to Richard, I'd love to do that. Give something back. It's all about giving back.
It is.
She's 100% right.
Yeah, we've often teased her about having her own show, and I've often said, Joanne, you're the guest on Monday brunch, but she just laughs and doesn't.
She'll do it one day. She'll do it one. She's just not. She needs to get her confidence. I'm being told she needs to get her confidence up a bit. She's very wise, but she needs to get her confidence up a bit. Just being told that by one of her relatives. The big lady who dresses all colourfully. Lovely lady, great spirit. She's coming through to me now. She's a sweet, sweet lady. Sorry, yes. When we stop realising it's not about us, it's about them, and don't be a victim, just go, it's happened. I can't change it. No matter what's happened in your life, it goes back to what I said earlier. You can't change yesterday, but you can influence tomorrow. Look at all the positive things that you want to do. Don't look at all the negative things you couldn't do. And there's nothing in this world that says you can't do anything you don't want to do. You can do everything you want to do. You just may not be able to do it in the way you want to do it, but you have to take the first step. You have to step forward.
Yes.
That's the trick. The trick is step forward.
Yes. Julie Caswell, she's part of Wimbledon as well.
I think I know Julie.
Yeah. Oh dear. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think I've met her.
Julie's lovely. She said, I think we all together make God. Some of us are made of the backside.
Don't understand that comment, but yes, perhaps we all are. Perhaps you're all a greater spirit that's just come down to try and help other people. That's what I intend to do. Help as many people as I can. And that's where the mediumship to the masses comes to. It's no good going into the churches and saying to everybody in the churches, because they believe they're already there. I want to get the people into the churches. I want to get the people to understand that what we do, it's not witchcraft. You know, I believe in past lives, we were all persecuted for what we do. And I think we've done this in many lives. And I've been told in a past life I was tortured. And it's a funny thing is, and I also know I was crushed in a past life. But we're accepting this more. I want to get this. Do you remember years ago when Great Aunt Nellie used to go to the psychiatrist and everyone used to go, she's mad, she's going to see that psychiatrist guy. But now, if you stub your toe on the bed, you need therapy. So you need to go and see a psychiatrist because obviously you don't want to fall out with the wood on the bed and your toe's not responsible for doing it. So we need to talk this through because obviously there's a problem between the two of them that we need to sort out. And that's perfectly acceptable now. You know, you don't like the colour red because whatever, there's a therapist that will sort that out for you. Yeah.
There is a therapist for everything these days, isn't there?
And it's accepted. And guess what? Fantastic. Because we need that. We need people to help us see what we can't. And that's the other thing that none of us do. We see the problem. We don't step back from the problem. We're so in it. We never take the step back, and we need to start taking that step back. And what I want to do with mediumship is get it to the point where psychiatrists are now. It's accepted. We can do this. I'm not saying everyone needs to come to us. What I'm saying is we want to help you. Please come to us.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the truth of it. That's all we're trying to do.
Talking about past life regression and all that. Our Terry Wall, who's the admin, excuse me, myself and her, there's about 20 years difference between us, but we're so very similar. My birthday's the 15th of December. Hers is the 21st. But there are so many things, even down, which Stace Shaw pointed out once, is that even down to our last two letters of our postcode, they're exactly the same. I'm in Somerset, she's in Manchester.
Yeah.
the Bournemouth weekend away next March that a lot of us are going to, Kirsty Grogan is going to do a past life regression on both of us to see if we've met in a previous life.
You definitely have, and I think you're going to both find out that you were sisters. And I don't know why I'm being told
no.
that, but I'm being
Terry's
told
going to watch this later, or she might be watching
I'm
it now.
actually, that's what I'm being told. So I believe it. I believe at some point you were sisters.
So I'm the older one, so I can boss her
No,
about.
no.
Oh,
Past life.
past life, yeah.
Not current life.
Oh no.
Ah, that's just.
She better not be older than me. She'll be watching this back.
Past life.
I'm never going to live this down now. I don't think she's watching at the moment. She's at work.
Well, she's going to listen to this bit. Would you understand about? Always, we come to the line of reading now. Would you understand about your character that sometimes you won't be told?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I'm being told. In past lives, you've been the same for a little while. You could be quite stubborn. I've just been told.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, of course I am.
Yeah, and she keeps asking you to do things in a nice way that you're not really doing.
Probably.
Yes, yeah, because she's telling me. Whoever's telling me this, would you understand your nan being in spirit?
Yeah, they're all in spirit. Yeah.
Okay, but you understand about her being quite a firecracker?
I've no idea.
Okay,
I didn't meet any of them.
She's really quite outspoken, and she's like kind of telling it. Your mum was very much the same, though, wasn't she? Telling it as it is.
Yes.
And her mum was worse. Her mum had a hard life.
I've no idea. She died very young.
She's telling me she had a hard life. Anyway, all checkable. She's telling me all checkable. But she's around you quite a bit. She's often around you.
Right.
To give you the upliftment that you need as well, because sometimes you need a bit of upliftment, because you can go no character traits here, but she says that you can drop low sometimes.
Oh yeah,
because she says she's around. We all can, every single one of us, and we need the upliftment. The one thing I will say is, and this is so true, is that if you accept what we do and do what we do,
yes, I know.
What? Someone's throwing something all over the room. That's not me, believe it or not.
That's my nan then, is it?
No, I have no idea who that is, but somebody's very angry with me right now. If you believe in what we do, you're never alone. You are never, ever alone. There's always somebody to speak to. And all of those out there that might question what we do, I want to ask them something. Have you ever had that situation where you've just stopped and it's helped you? And now that could be you walking down the road and you just stopped, you look round and something's changed. That is what we do. And that is, everybody has the ability to do what I do. They choose not to do it because from a very early age, it's put upon us that it's wrong, and it isn't wrong. How can it be that religious leaders can go up mountains and get 10 commandments, and that's perfectly acceptable? How can it be that priests can claim that they can speak to God and converse with God and know what God's thinking? And how can it be that, you know, all religious people claim to be able to do that? It's not a special skill that only they have got. But if they claim that they are the only people that can do it, guess what? It puts them in control. Don't be controlled.
Yeah.
Stop being controlled. You don't need to be.
Exactly. That is the problem, isn't it? There is always someone who's trying to control someone else.
Oh, and we allow
being
it.
The big person.
We allow it. How many people are putting on face masks?
Yeah.
I was in hospital when they did my surgery, and I asked the doctor, I said, these face masks, what are they like? He said, I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. The way most people put them on, might as well not bother.
Yeah.
The second time you put them on, you might as well not bother.
Yeah.
And after 4 hours, you might as well not bother. And all the ones that you went out and you bought from the shops with the lovely patterns on, you might as well not bother because they're not doing anything.
Exactly. I have heard that before.
And that came from a doctor.
Yeah.
It came from a doctor. It's not something I'm making up. If you use a mask more than once, it loses its efficacy. And that is not a good thing.
That's true.
So it's control. We're still doing it. And I'm not saying don't wear a mask. And please don't. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if we're going to do it, let's do it right. But we're being led to do these things. And even the politicians are now saying, well, we're not 100% sure the masks are doing anything. Yet they didn't tell us 1 in 3 of us are actually immune to it.
Yeah, that's very true. And going
Strange,
back
really, isn't
to
it? Look at all of
yeah,
this. It's quite strange. There's a lot
yeah,
of things, and it's different levels of control. And that's just at the moment what's going on. Don't go out. Yeah, apparently, from what I've heard, it's worse indoors. So you need to open windows and doors. So if you took it indoors, you're going to spread it anyway. It doesn't make
yeah,
sense. You
yeah.
know, it's all about control.
But that's what's
And
been going on for hundreds of years, though, isn't it? Like we
we've
said
used it
before.
for, we've used it
Yeah,
for centuries. We've
yeah,
used it for
yeah.
centuries. We've used control of people because as long as for want of a word, the big man can control the small man, he's laughing.
Yeah.
And it's divide and conquer. We notice that divide and conquer.
I've just seen a question pop up again, going back to past life regressions. It says, if we all, this is Mandy Atterbury, if we all have past lives, is it not possible that some bad traits come into our lives from those past lives?
Oh, 100%. 100%. We keep coming back to learn more lessons. We're here to learn lessons. And those lessons may be how to be humble. They may be how to be helpful. They may be how to forgive. How many times have you wanted to forgive somebody but have been too stubborn to?
That's true.
We've all done that. But
Yeah.
actually, you're hurting two people at that point. You're hurting you because you can't move on from it, and you're hurting them. The minute you forgive somebody for something they've done to you, or forget something that somebody's done to you, or go, it's happened, the power is gone. They have lost their power at that point. It's the old thing, calling out a bully. 99% of the time, if you call out a bully, he'll back away. That's because people don't call bullies out.
That's true. Yeah.
The minute somebody calls a bully out, typically one of two things happen. There's a fight, or they'll back away. Well, if there's a fight, well, there's a winner or a loser. That's just a given. But when they back away, there are two winners.
Yeah. And just to point out that these are Peter's views, and obviously not SPTV's views or my views or anything.
Yeah, we never want violence. I always say to people, the minute you get to violence, you've lost.
That's true.
100% you've lost.
Yeah, yeah.
So don't violence isn't a thing. All I'm pointing out is that it's a trait of people. It's not something that you should be doing.
I've just seen so going back to past life regression, Lauren Badrock, I was a nurse in a past life and a practicing witch.
Yeah, people can be. People have all sorts in life. They have their own. Everyone's belief is it's valid.
Oh, he's gone again. Is he coming back this time? Do we put a bet on?
I'm here.
Oh, look, he's won.
I'm here. I hate technology. I really hate technology. It's life. Life is a great game, but there are no real rules. And I always say this to people. When we've had children, I've had 3 of them. I was never given a manual with any of them. We're all winging it. And that's how we get through life. We do our best.
We do.
And if you go through life trying to be kind, trying to be helpful, and trying to be loving, that's the best that you can be. You're going to get it wrong. You're going to make mistakes, and you're going to upset people. But if you accept your failures, you can move on from them. And trust me, I've made many failures. And I've made many mistakes. I can't change them. I can learn from them.
Exactly. You can't change history.
And I can help people with my experiences because I can empathize. I know what it's like to be like that. I know what it's like to do those things. I've met these horrible people that people talk about.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've the last couple of years come across some horrendous people who, in my eyes, are sociopaths. Think they know it all. Always got to be right. They tell a lie. They deflect it from them, and they've been horrendous people the last couple of years.
Well, I will tell you something, which is, I know there's someone on here who will actually be laughing when I say this. There is a test that you can do which proves if you're a psychopath or not.
Really?
There is.
Maybe I need to do that.
I have done it.
Have you? And are you a psychopath?
I'm not just a little bit of psychopath. I'm a total psychopath.
Oh dear.
Now, you can be a good psychopath and you can be a bad psychopath.
Yes,
You don't have to go around
because
killing people.
not the majority of psychopaths don't actually murder. It's more
No,
of a
it's an
mindset
intellectual.
thing. Yeah,
And apparently,
yeah,
and I didn't know this, but apparently it's quite a fact that people that run big businesses have psychopathic mindsets.
yeah, because that comes down to
Conscience.
they've got to be the big person and everything else.
It's not even about, it's not even about being a big person. I remember watching a program once, and I've always had a problem with what I do. I've never wanted to profit from what I do, but understand that unfortunately life costs.
Yes, yes.
And it's been a big conflict for me. And somebody said to me, if the money you make is of a consequence of what you're doing, not the reason for doing it, you're doing it for the right reason. If you're actually setting out, I set out to help people, and I've done many. There's all the churches I work for will tell you I literally, am at the drop of a hat. If they need me, I'll be there, because that's what I want to do now.
Yeah. Oh, that's the same here. I mean, myself and Terry, and there's a couple of other people do a bit of admin thing. It's all you want to do is just help. It's help. It's like SPtv. How many people is it helping?
Listen,
just trying to help people.
Richard, the lovely Richard, whom I've had a few conversations with, and I think have very similar views.
Yeah, Richard did actually say he'll be in touch.
No, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Have very similar views in that actually all we need to do is get people to accept that this isn't a sin. We're not the devil, although I have been called the devil in the past, but hey ho. We're not the devil. We're not messing with the occult. We're not trying to brainwash people.
Yes.
And we're not in it to try and rip people off or scam them.
Yeah.
I did a reading for somebody a little while ago, and it was, did what I needed to do, and then somebody said, "Oh yeah, but it's a scam. It's a scam." It was a friend of my daughter's. This is going back a little while, and my daughter had said to her, "So, how much did he charge you?" "Well, he didn't charge me." "So where's the scam then? Where's the scam in it? If what he said was correct, and he's right in what he said, and the things that he pointed out were correct, and he didn't charge you, where's the scam?" Think about it.
Exactly. If you're not paying for something, how can you be scamming someone?
Exactly. I get into trouble from all sorts of people and lots of mediums, and now I've had to start charging. But it is one of those things where you do have to value it. You do have to put a value on it, because it's what they call an exchange of energy. But you don't. There are people that are ridiculous with it, and that's not me. I've never been like that, and I will never be like that. And if somebody rings me up and I know that they really are in need, I will help them.
Well, yeah, I'd like to think that SPtv does help people.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, Sue Chadwick, she's one of our regulars, and she said this channel is such a great help. Thank you all.
Yes.
Also, just like to point out, if anybody ever does need to speak to anybody, just come to the admins. Just go to Terry, don't come to me. But yeah, just message us. Even Richard, he'll say no, don't message him. He'll tell me off.
Well, listen, I've got a Facebook page, and my name's on my Facebook page, as is my picture, so you can't mix me up with anybody else. And I'm more than happy to help anybody that wants to help if I can. Yeah. Listen, I can't solve everybody's problems, but I can sometimes be the ear that you need, and I will try and bring your loved ones through to give you the advice that they want to give you. It's not my advice, it's their advice.
Yeah.
So if anybody ever needs any help, I'm more than happy to do that.
I've just put a link up to the SPtv directory.
Perfect. Perfect.
Richard has just said, don't message me, I know nothing.
What's his name? Manuel? Was he on 40 Towers at some point?
Yeah, no, that's me actually. I'm always saying, going back to these mediumship that I don't believe I can do. It's always, I know nothing. I've got nothing. But I believe you now.
Right, listen. Do you remember when people come up to you, I'm having a go? I've been told I've got to have a proper go now, so I'm apologising, everybody. Remember when people come up to you and ask you things, you know the answer to questions you shouldn't know the answer to?
Yeah.
Yes, be the answer to that. That is your spirit working.
I know.
So, yes, you do get stuff.
I do, yeah.
Yes, you just don't want to admit that you get stuff.
My
Then it
problem
puts you in a
is,
position where you have to deal with it.
yeah, my problem is I don't believe my mind.
It's not your mind.
I think it's my mind and it's not spirit.
If you ask for it to get it in a different way, they'll give it to you in a way that in a voice that you don't recognize, or in a manner of speaking that's not your voice. So in other words, they'll give you language that you wouldn't normally use. So if you can work that out, then that's the way to check. Always ask to say, and if you ever question, this is for anybody that's listening who is spiritual, if you're ever questioning what you'll get, give the same question, but try and turn the question around so you're asking the same question in a different way. And if you get the same answer 3 times, surely it's the right answer. And if it feels like the right answer, guess what? Typically it is.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's anything else I can help you lovely people with today. I know that we're nearly coming up to time now.
Yes, unfortunately I have got to rush today. Just like to say, Kim, I'll send you the check in the post. He's just said, Alison, we know you are good. I know from experience. Thank you, Kim. Love you too. I'll send you the pound coin soon. That's all he's getting.
You've got to stop getting your family to write messages. I stopped a long time ago, but people recognise, so I just stopped.
Yeah, he's not part of my family. Kim's a lovely man, as everybody is on SPtv. You always get the odd ones, don't you, as you do in life? But
listen, the people that are sent that give us the hard time, take it, because you're helping them. And they're the ones that make you want to work that a little bit harder to prove it a little bit more. So don't ever not give them what they want, and then make it work. Because when you give them that, I did years and years ago, I did a reading for a young lady, and I hadn't been doing it very long. And it was kind of one of those trust things. And her boyfriend was there, going, that's all rubbish. It's all rubbish. It's all total rubbish. And I went, oh, really, is it now? And he went, yeah, it's all total rubbish. I don't believe any of it. He said, if you could give, and he used to race cars. He said, if you can give me my racing number, I'll believe it. And literally, as he said it, I can't remember what it was. I got the number 85. That wasn't the number, but let's say it's number 85. And he went, that's my racing number.
Wow.
And I went, sorry? He went, that's my racing number. And I'm going to tell you a little story. I don't know if I told you the one I told you before we started.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was minding my own business. I was just going to watch a service. Somebody else was going to sing on the service, and I was just minding my own business. And all of a sudden, I can hear our medium hasn't turned up, and I'm like, well, I'm here. I might as well have a go. So completely unplanned. Didn't even know I was going to do it till there's 15 people on the screen with no medium. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll do your Zoom meeting, no problem. So I get up and I start doing the Zoom meeting, and I give this lady a message. And it basically, the long and the short of it, the message is there's someone trying to pull the wool over her eyes, and she needs to be careful. And whoever it is says, what I want you to do is open the family Bible. And in the family Bible, there's a couple of pages turned over, and I want you to read what's on those pages. So I convey the message. And she says, okay, so, well, actually, I know where that Bible is. I'm going to check it. I said, could you just let me know? Could you just let me know if I'm really curious now? And as the lovely lady will confirm, because I've showed her the picture, I finished the service, and 10 minutes later, she sent me a picture of the Bible with the page turned, and the first 3 words on the bit that you can read says, beware of false prophets. So that shows you how clever spirit is. It's not me, it's spirit.
It's spirit, yes. Exactly. Kim came back and said, all I can say is chickens, going back to me not believing in, we were on a development thing with Moira Hawkins a few weeks ago, and I had to visualize his house. He usually lives in the Philippines. He's stuck over here at the moment, and I could see it all. And then I was about to say chickens. He said, no, I've got no chickens. Well, yeah, I can see chicken. Oh, yeah, they're running around all over the place, but I forget they're there. But I could see those chickens, so I did get it right. And just before we finish, Richard has asked, can you let us all know, please, any of you viewing, if you prefer it this way for the brunch or on Zoom, as we are just testing this out. So let us know what you prefer. Just like to thank you, Peter, for coming on. It's been a great day. I hope we will get you back if you'll come back one day.
Love to come back. Literally, I'm a phone call away.
Perfect, because we do have a lot of people love these discussions. Most people love the mediumship as well, but we want to mix it up a bit.
I'm happy to come and do some mediumship for you guys.
Fantastic. I'll speak to you and book you in.
That's better on Zoom because you can react with people. But listen, do it on here. It just takes me a bit longer because it doesn't take me any longer. It just takes the links take longer because it takes longer for the feedback. So once you get the feedback, it's easy and you're rolling. And Richard's seen me do it on this many times.
Lovely. Just want to remind people tonight from 8 p.m. is Matt and Kirsty answering your spiritual questions. So if you put a question to them and they answer it, you may well get a card or a reading. Tomorrow night is the wonderful Deb Clark. Next week, I think it's the 20th on Monday, if I remember correctly. That is the lovely Indigo. I think she's doing a Christmas special, so she's probably going to dress up as a Christmas tree or something. And I might wear my Christmas hat. And that will be the last brunch until after New Year. So I just want to thank everybody for coming in today, watching us. And we will see you, hopefully, tonight. And thank you, Peter.
Pleasure.
And we'll definitely have you back on again one day.
Thank you. It's been my
pleasure. Thanks everybody for coming on and for YouTube, because it's the first time Brunch has been on YouTube as well. So we've had a few people watching. Generally, it looks like our regulars have stayed to YouTube. So thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next Monday. Goodbye, everyone.